But this is an image that is going to be used forever. It's like the ultimate act of defiance. And of course, everyone's going to say he's a fascist. He's going to be a dictator. What the hell do you think we're living in right now? This is why so many people are not as concerned. It's not like we have a system to fight for that is fighting for everyday people right now. It just isn't. So if Trump is everything that people say he's going to be, then it's easy to see why the reaction, even if he throws rhetoric out there that would suggest that he would be very authoritarian if he gets in again. For a lot of people, they don't care. Because right now, they're hurting. And they're hurting a lot. And they don't know where to go. I've been saying this forever. If you want to pretend like things are not bad right now, and that staying the course is the answer, it's not. And, you know, a lot of people have suggested that if, for whatever reason, President Biden decides, especially in light of what has happened, that it is time for him to step away, that all of a sudden, if it was Kamala Harris or somebody else, could be, could be Gavin, not likely. Perhaps, I know they floated, Governor Shapiro, who is a total Zionist in Pennsylvania. I think Governor Beshear in Kentucky is a decent one, but, again, they're looking at it from an electoral standpoint. They're looking at Shapiro as somebody who, would ultimately focus on Pennsylvania, which obviously is one of the probably 2 or 3 most important states in this election. So I can certainly see the case being made where this is going to have a tantamount importance, whoever they put up there. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that it is Kamala that ultimately becomes the nominee, especially if they're desperate enough right now where they get the sense that this election has completely gotten away from them. There's no way Biden can win. In lieu of what just happened on Saturday, they've got to try something else. So let's say that they get Biden to step away and somebody's going to step up. The scrutiny that he is going to get is going to be immense. Just tremendous. It is absolutely going to be off the charts. Just how insane this is going to turn into. The scrutiny is only on Biden right now. It's not on Vice President Harris or anybody else who's going to step up. And the reason you know this is because JD Vance earlier today got announced that he's going to be Trump's VP. Now, there are many reasons why he may have been chosen. Look, JD Vance, again, he's a politician. He's conservative. He's anti-choice. I really wish people would stop saying pro-life because it's not a thing. You're either for choice or you're not. And if that's what your prerogative is, that's, it's your choice. I saw a message from Zaya Jelani, which I sent to you, Colin. I don't know if you have that, from earlier today, trying to indicate why he was chosen. I mean, listen, JD Vance was chosen for one specific reason. He was chosen because he's from a Rust Belt state. JD Vance is one of the only, and this is Zaya Jelani. This isn't some hack. Zaya Jelani wrote today, JD Vance is one of the only Republicans who supported Dem efforts to regulate rail companies. Again, granted, part of that was because of East Palestine, and that fell in his lap. Rein in the price of insulin, stop large corporate mergers, and promote onshoring. Again, those last, especially promoting onshoring, is big. While he's far from any kind of lefty, he brings the GOP to the middle on the economy. And ultimately, that is what gets the votes. Scroll down more, please, Colin. This is going to be there's going to be a lot of conventional wisdom because the press is obsessed with Trump, the person, rather than public policy. But GOP policy since Reagan has been about empowering corporations to run a tyranny over Americans. Vance breaks with that. Trump has dominated the GOP for a decade now. Well, just about. But this pick really illustrates how the timber of that domination has changed. The Trump-Pence GOP was a party that gradually capitulated to the strongman over time. The Trump-Vance GOP is one eager to do the strongman's bidding. I don't know if that means Trump will let Vance have control over policy. Trump's first term is mostly normal GOP stuff, like the big tax cuts, moving country towards labor on trade. But the more influence Vance has, the more the GOP will realign. So Reverend Warnock shouldn't be sponsoring legislation with Vance to bring down the price of insulin. Insulin prices are too high or too low or something. I mean, again, we all know that it's unlikely that somebody like him would ever support a universal healthcare system, but we have to get what we can get, chipping away at the corporate monolith that is our economic and political system. Liberals really need to stop the whole don't normalize this, don't legitimize him stuff. This is politics, and the real world is not a liberal opinion page. That's a great line. There are people who agree with you on some things, disagree with you on others. You can't make them disappear. And you can't. How could you talk to that Republican over there? He's a bad person. Any reasonable left-leaning person who cares about the poor and the least of these and isn't just fixated on Trump the person should be able to recognize that Vance's governing trajectory is better for the poor than that of most Republicans and take it for what it is. The Club of Growth, which is one of the GOP's main corporate enforcers, strongly opposed Vance's election to the Senate, warning that he is for government control of businesses and even higher taxes. They spent millions to block him. Ken Griffin, one of the richest men in the world. I believe he owns the most expensive piece of residential real estate in the United States. And of course, Rupert Murdoch, Darth Sidious himself, two of the GOP's other big corporate enforcers, tried to block Vance from being picked. Now, what does this all mean? The idea that Vance is some kind of white nationalist is crazy. He is an immigration restrictionist, for sure, an area where I don't have much in common with him. But he married an Indian woman and raised Hapa kids. Nick Fuentes hates it. Well, listen, if Nick Fuentes doesn't like somebody, I'm inclined to like that person. Let's just put that out there. Yeah, one way to loosely think about Vance is that he's either like the Republicans prior to Reagan or the Democrats prior to Biden. Zaya Jelani is a good journalist, and he basically said what needed to be said. JD Vance is anti-choice. There is no question that that is a huge issue and a huge problem. But Ohio codified Roe. There is not going to be a federal nationwide mandate to take away a woman's right to choose. I know people think that that could happen. It's not happening because then it would be a political consequence of epic proportions. And the one thing the Republicans do better than Democrats, they know how to seize an opportunity when there's an opportunity to win. That they do well. So I don't see a case right now where that is going to happen. Could I be wrong? Yeah, maybe. But I do not see that happening. Do I think Vance moves the needle? No. I don't think he hurts the ticket either. I think this was just simply a safe bet. And it was a safe bet simply because even though Ohio is a red state now, it's still in that same region that is important in terms of the trajectory of where this election is going to go. This is like 2016 all over again. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. And so, numbers-wise, it's very much showing that those states, and he doesn't need them all, Trump needs to take back Georgia and Arizona. He may likely pick off Nevada, and then he only needs one of those Rust Belt states, and he's the president.